Hello and welcome to this week's episode. I'm Shell Zenner, a music journalist and new music obsessive based in Manchester. Things to shout about this week: 3 amazing new Zenner zones for your delectation, an incredible live version of Manchester singer-songwriter Lindsay Munroe's Sharon Van Etten endorsed new single Split, live at Green Velvet Studios. I'll be chatting to Humberside band HUMMER about their forthcoming single Picture Bliss, working with renowned Yorkshire producer Matt Peel. Hull Fair.
I've still got Hull Fair as my background.
Yes, really, and more. But firstly, the coronavirus outbreak is affecting the music industry across the board, and this week the Music Venue Trust have launched a new campaign to support grassroots music venues in the UK. It says over 556 venues are at imminent risk of being closed permanently, stating the situation is dire and that government support has been exhausted. Now, a crowdfunder has been set up. You can donate to the venue of your choice that is at risk by clicking on the interactive map to find the venues at risk in your area. Check out the website saveourvenues.co.uk for more details and hashtag Save Our Venues. Up next, a special treat this week. Lindsay Munroe is an alt indie musician living in Manchester whose previous single Mirror struck me with its frank discourse about body image and judgment. Lindsay has a new single forthcoming next month. We're going to be chatting to her right here on YouTube. But this is her latest single, Split. It's stunning, emotional, raw, and channels the likes of PJ Harvey and Sharon Van Etten. And Sharon liked it so much, she shared it on her social media. Witness this gorgeous live take on Split, recorded at Green Velvet Studios.
Taking everything that I believe and sewn it to my sleep so I could finally breathe. There was a sickness in the ground, you see, from roots up to the leaves, right through the heart of me. But I can't love you when I'm so ashamed. I split myself in two every time I towed the line just to skip a fight. It's in the silver pieces of my shame I find myself again. I yearn to be contained, but I can't love you when I'm so afraid. Tells me it's in the way that I can't wait to leave. It's in the way that I can't even pray without feeling it'll all get swept away. There's someone sitting on my chest. There's someone waiting at the door. There's someone telling me that I can't be alone with you anymore.
Absolutely gorgeous, both musically and in that studio setting. So gorgeous. Lindsay Munroe with Split. I'll put all of Lindsay's links in the description below, but find her online, like, follow, subscribe. She's absolutely awesome. It is time for Zenner Zone's 3 brand new tracks that I've been loving in the last week that I think you should search out. They're all up and coming independent artists. They need your support, so make sure you go and find them, subscribe them and follow them. The first up this week is Wrexham outfit Kid Smoke. I've been waiting for an album for what seems like forever. Their sound becomes more expansive and lush with every release, and this gorgeous new single is called The Bluest You and showcases the most gorgeous harmonies alongside quite hazy and euphoric musicianship, whilst absolutely observing and talking about depression. So dreamy. Big news from Kid Smoke soon. I'll list their social media details below, but go and subscribe to their mailing list and you'll be one of the first to know their big news. Now, new Kinkai and Children of Zeus has been the slinky groove I've needed in my life this week. It's called Top Down and it instantly transports you to summertime with its cool, uplifting sound. Yes, catch the vibe. I don't care where we go, no destination. Move too fast and you
I wanna smile at the sun, summertime vibe off the room. Can I catch a vibe with someone? I ride with my ones, hands to the sky when I'm on. Wanna take a drive with my duns. I'm from the slum, never liked knives or the guns, but I still ride for my ones.
Yes, Manchester supergroup right there, Kinkai and Children of Zeus, throwing all the summer shade. The final zone this week is from Manchester singer-songwriter Elise Mason. Honestly, her voice is so powerful it could stop you at 10 paces. This new track has shades of Jane Weaver to me. It starts off stripped back but builds into something wondrous. Those synths are magical. Check out Something Good.
I'm feeling so low. When I'm already turning back, keep feeling something good. I'm always gonna be alone. I'll let you know.
It's not streaming online yet, but the legend Tom Robinson gave it a spin on BBC Six Music at the weekend on my recommendation. So listen back to Saturday evening's show to check that out in full if you liked it. It's Elise Mason with Something Good. Yes, so good. It's time to catch up with Humberside outfit Low Hummer. They've blown me away with their forthcoming single Picture Bliss, which is forthcoming on Dance to the Radio. And I caught up with Daniel and Steph recently to find out how they're getting on in lockdown.
The world is going up in flames, and I promise you, we can only lose. And I don't recognize your face, but I know that you feel it too. Well, we think we got it made, but we don't even know the half of it.
We're in lockdown. We are still struggling to get out there and watch live shows at the moment, but I've been really lucky to get hold of the lovely Low Hummer. How are you doing, guys? I'm joined by Daniel and Steph. Are you surviving?
Hey, yes, surviving well, thank you.
So you're managing to keep productive, keep writing, keep getting some semblance of motion for the band.
Yeah, definitely. In the past 3 weeks, I've probably written more than I did in last year, just because I'm guessing most bands of like our level are in full-time work, so you don't get that time to sit and write. So yeah, I've had plenty of time to send over demos and stuff. So we've been all right, really. We've managed pretty well.
No, I can imagine. So did you have any gigs lined up? What did you have lined up for the time that we've had to lock down for so far?
Yeah, we had a fair few shows. We've been a band for a year, but last year we didn't really start until September. So we've only really played sort of 10 shows. So this summer we were on quite a few festival lineups. So it would have been our first summer of gigging, really. So obviously, even this weekend with Stockton Calling, which we were meant to be playing. So we were excited for them all, but hopefully they'll come again in sort of end of the year or next year.
Yeah, no news on Humber Street Sesh yet either, is there? Which is obviously one of the most prominent local festivals in Humberside.
Yeah, there's nothing as yet. I reckon we'll know more in the next month, I'd say.
Yeah.
Probably the start of May, because the beauty of Humber Street Sesh in a way is it can be put together because it's quite local. The festival can put a lineup together in a short amount of time. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Humberside scene is really strong. I always think, for such a, it's not a huge city, is it? I nearly went to uni in Hull. They turned me down. Can you believe it? They didn't want me.
Oh, we'd have had you.
But yeah, it's actually quite a contained city, isn't it? But the music that comes out of the area just seems so good, and and a lot of it quite visceral as well, I have to say. You're kind of half visceral, half very uplifting, I would find, by your sound. But do you feel like the local scene is very strong, that it's quite supportive?
It's great. We're so lucky in Hull. I think it, like you said, it's very communal in Hull, and I think that's partly down to the links outside of the city not being that strong previously, meant that everyone's sort of banded together. So we have quite a lot of diverse lineups as well. So a lot of nights in the city that put a lot of different genres together, and nobody really has sort of any clique within Hull. So yeah, it's a very supportive community, and I think just being a northern city, it can be, there's a lot of sort of visceral art being made. I know we mentioned bands like Life and Luma, so quite hard sounding bands, but with like an undercurrent of sort of northern life, which is really nice.
For sure. I mean, you're a 5-piece, right? How did you all, is that right, 5-piece? Or has that changed?
Yeah, no, that's right. So
checking.
No, you're right. We sort of play it like that. Because live we're a 6-piece, but we don't have a fixed drummer at the moment. So we've nicked a guy called Joe, who's in a band called Fever, who just supported Blossoms, actually. Yeah, really good. So we still keep nicking him. We keep saying like, oh, one more gig, Joe. So yeah, but as a 5, we usually we write together and stuff.
How did you all meet?
So because Hull is so sort of inclusive, everyone knows everyone, we kind of all vaguely knew each other anyway from music venues and from gigs. I used to come see Dan's previous bands quite a lot, so I kind of knew him through that. Amy is a performer, a solo performer. She does amazing. Don't know how to describe it really. She's a country singer, but it's really, really gorgeous. John and Dan and Jack have all performed before, so it's kind of come together without any real major meeting point. We just all knew of each other, and it kind of, Dan pulled us together essentially.
So it just kind of pulled together and happened almost organically, which is probably the best way, because that's about chemistry, isn't it? About things just fitting together and feeling like they're right.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's interesting because, like I say, Amy does her own thing, which is very different from what we do. Dan, Jack and John have all played before, doing stuff again that's different. I've just been there in the crowd, waving at them all. And so we are all very, very different. It's not necessarily a lineup you would expect to see together, but that's kind of works in a way.
No, and how have the gigs been so far?
Good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, really good. As Steph sort of mentioned when we started, Steph had never played. I hope you don't mind me saying, Steph had never played keys before, so I never played sort of live before, and then Amy's sort of a very quiet performer, country sort of singer. So we were asking her to be much louder. So the first couple of gigs, I've never seen people look more pale than Steph and Amy. So that was real fun. Like that was good to, because obviously I've played for 10 years in bands, so it was like nice to have that sort of feeling again of nervousness and yeah, there was a few gigs of like baptism of fire where, because I've never used synths in bands and sort of samples, so using those live, we had one gig where the synth died on us, like we had a spare synth and stuff, we had to move all the sounds over, so all the sort of teething things you have as a band first starting out, it was really nice to have. I mean, it wasn't nice for Steph, but it was nice for me to go through that again as like a new band and learn how to play live. So it's been really good.
Yeah, and I suppose has the sound been evolving as you've been playing as well?
Definitely, yeah. So when we first started, it you know, we wanted to have synths and stuff in it, but we still had sort of songs that were quite heavy and stuff, or sounded a bit more like Pixies, and as we've gone along, that sort of synth element of the band has really come on, and we've written more in that style, and that just naturally happens from practicing together and realizing what works and what doesn't, I guess.
I mean, synths are so prominent now. It's like a real thing, isn't it? You know, even the vaccines are doing synths. It's just like the 80s undercurrent. The Weeknd's one of the most like trending songs on TikTok right now, and it is so synth heavy. It could have just walked straight out of the 80s. I mean, is it important for you to have really uplifting vibes in your music, to especially at a time like this when people are quite struggling, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess so. I think for us, I'd always been in bands where it was just mainly just loud as you can make it, and as depressing as you can make it. So to have a band where, I mean, the lyrical content's certainly not any happier, I guess, but the actual instrumentation and having sort of a completely different mood has been really nice, and there's lots of bands that we can draw inspiration from that are new at this moment in time. Even a band like Working Men's Club, who played Polar Bear in Hull, watching them and seeing how without a drummer and still having such a really loud sort of and visceral performance as well. There's a lot to draw from it at the moment, I guess.
For sure. I mean, the last song we had from you was The Real Thing, wasn't it? Back in Feb. Tell us about The Real Thing.
So we've been working with a producer called Matt Peel, who's been really helping us. Yeah, he's just the best, and he's really helped us with the synth sort of stuff, because, like I said, we don't have a clue. Basically, we're still learning. So we went in with that one. It was the first song I'd written that sort of felt like what we wanted to do as a band, without Matt having to chop and change, because we were taking sort of guitar songs to Matt before that, and then he would be like, right, let's change this and restructure this, and this was the first one where the structure didn't really change for us that much, but I still wanted to make sure we had sort of a guitar element in it, so the chorus is quite different to the verse, I guess, which was real fun to try and pull off. But yeah, it feels a little bit like the blueprint of what we want to do going forward.
For sure. Like, Matt is a legend. Like every artist I come across that he's worked with, there is like an unmistakable sound to the production. Did you go to was it the Nave that you recorded, or was it some? Yeah,
and it's just beautiful. We've been going there for a while now, and it's just a really nice space. But also that Matt's the first producer that I know that's just honest, just really honest, for better or worse. He'll just be like, if we play a part, he'll be like, that just sounds rubbish, and you just go, oh, okay, Matt, fair. And he's right. So it's you can have a part that you really love, and for 6 months you've been playing live, and you're like, he's not going to change this, and then within a couple of minutes he'll be like, nah, this is terrible, why don't we try this? And it takes you completely out of your comfort zone, but then you come out of it with something that's way better. So he's brilliant. He's really good to work with.
So I guess it's always good to be open-minded about other people's views and stuff like that. It can be quite difficult, I guess, as an artist, to take external influences in. But if you find someone you really trust, then it makes it a lot easier, I guess.
I think for me as well, it's the first time I've ever been in a recording studio, and he's been a great person to work with from that perspective. He's just so good with knowing what works, and as Dan said, he's honest, and he knows how to get like the best out of us, I think, which is really, really important.
I mean, at the moment, we're stuck in this situation of lockdown, but, you know, I suppose we've got to look to the future and hope that in the next month or so, we're able to get back out there and do gigs. What are your plans for the next few months? What are you focusing on?
It's really tricky, obviously, with gigs, because you don't know exactly when they're going to be back again, I guess, or to what capacity they'll be back. So for us, I've been writing loads the past couple of weeks, and we really want to pick a selection of songs that are ready to go straight to Matt with, basically. So once we've picked a few songs and worked on them together, then we want to get in touch with Matt immediately and get in the studio and get some songs recorded and ready to go for when the live gigs feel like they're back to normal, basically.
Is that to try and get things out at the same time on the socials, or is it like because it's good to have things like pressed ready to sell in terms of merch and bringing income in?
Yeah, basically, yeah, just income, basically. Not just income. It's basically just to have things ready to go, to have because we've basically got a couple of songs left to release. And then after that, we have nothing, basically, that's ready to go. So it's just making sure that side of things is good.
So you're trying to keep things almost ticking over, aren't you? So
exactly.
Raising your profile and keep raising it by keep releasing, you know, everyone's every you know, set window, whatever it is, 3 months or whatever. I suppose that's the thing. We're going to come to the other side of this. And my concern is everyone's going to have stuff ready to drop. And there's going to be just like, whoa, it's coming at you from all sides. And there's only so much airplay, and there's only so much blog coverage, and so many people that can write. I mean, mentally, you know, it's pretty tough to be away from the people that you're creating with. I mean, how are you able to get together over Zoom and have conversations, or you Google Hangout in, or what are you doing to stay together?
We obviously have chats and stuff. We speak to each other over message pretty much constantly, and then we did do like a little Zoom catch up the other night. Can't remember when it was, a couple of nights ago, which was really nice, actually. I think we all hadn't realised quite how much we'd found it difficult being away from each other for so long, until we kind of actually did catch up and see each other. And then we realised how much we missed each other, and how difficult it is kind of being in a situation where we can't do what we've been doing for a year. And I feel like it was getting to a stage where we were all really, really excited about what we were doing. So it's difficult.
Is there a low Hummer WhatsApp group?
There's a low Hummer group chat.
And what's the most commonly used meme?
Ooh, what is the most commonly used meme, Dan? I'm trying to think.
Sometimes it's hummus related, because it's a terrible joke, but the group chat's called Low Hummus. So
I love it.
So merch is coming soon, as in hummus, but yeah, it's usually hummus related. Oh, it's so sad. They're gonna hate me for saying that.
And this is the valid information that fans of Low Hummer have been waiting for. Like, they've been sitting on the edge of their seats waiting for that, honestly.
But yeah, Steph's right. We did a pub quiz the other night, which was real nice. And yeah, like you don't realize how much you miss everyone until you do those sort of things together. But also when a gig's passed, I don't get that sad. But when a gig's passed that we should have been playing this weekend or something, that's when I'm like, oh, that's because we'd sort of been in hibernation for a year, and we had played shows, but they were sort of to warm up for playing, you know, sort of festivals and stuff. So when these sort of milestones pop up that we're really excited about, that's when it's like, oh, it's sort of quite disappointing. But obviously in the grand scheme of things, it's, you know, it's really not that big a deal, and we're still chatting every day. So I'm sure we'll be ready to go again, and it's exciting to sort of know that once things will be going again, we're sort of ready and we've got a lot of material to work through. And yes, it's still exciting.
So of that material you've already got ready, you mentioned to me before we came on the chat that you've got a new tune that's going to drop in May. What can you tell us about Picture Bliss?
Right. So the last time me and Steph spoke about Picture Bliss, we were in this studio with Matt, and it was like 3 against 1. We're not going to release this, and I was like, no, we're going to release it. So that was really exciting because we'd never had an argument about music before. Usually it's about hummus, but it was so that was really exciting. But it's sort of in the vein of the band when we first started a year ago, which is it's quite Pixies related, and there's no synths, which again is really exciting for us because it is a side to us that we don't want to forget about, basically, which is quite guitar heavy. So yeah, we're really excited about it. It sort of shows a different side to what we try to do, which is exciting.
And before I let you go, what's your favourite flavour of hummus?
So it was when we were recording, it maybe in the summer with Matt, and Matt actually brought to the table, I think it was like a smoked hummus, and that was very good. That was very, very good.